Stop what you're doing right now and listen up. Today we're going to activate the giant within. No, this isn't just another video you're scrolling past in the millions of videos that are available to you. This is a decision point right now in this moment. You're standing at the crossroads of who you are and who you're capable of becoming. I'm about to take you on a journey that's not a meditation, not a hypnosis session, but an activation, a high-energy transformational experience that will awaken that giant sleeping inside of you, that version of yourself that's been waiting to break through. I'm not asking you to close your eyes. You don't need to sit still. There's no way you can do this incorrectly. This activation works while you're cooking, walking, driving, or getting ready for your day. It's designed to rewire your neurology through the most powerful linguistic patterns and psychological triggers I've mastered over decades working with millions of people worldwide. In the next several minutes, I'm going to help you access parts of yourself you've forgotten existed. I'm going to help you demolish the limitations that have been holding you back and install the beliefs, strategies, and emotional states of the most extraordinary version of yourself. Look, if you're satisfied with your life exactly as it is, if you're living with massive passion, fulfillment, and success in your relationships, health, finances, and purpose, then maybe this isn't for you. But if you know deep down in your soul that there's another level available to you, if you can feel that hunger for something more, if you're ready to stop settling and start soaring, then stay with me, because this activation is about to change everything. Are you ready? Because your giant self is already stirring, already beginning to rise. The only question is, will you have the courage to unleash it? Right now, you've just stepped into a power zone. This isn't just another video you're watching. This is an activation experience designed to create immediate and lasting change in your life. Now, what exactly is an activation? Well, it's conversational transformation that entertains while it revolutionizes your mindset. And I'm going to engage with you through powerful linguistic patterns that speak directly to your subconscious mind while your conscious mind is fully present and engaged. The beauty of this is its flexibility. You don't have to be sitting in a lotus position on a mountaintop. You can be walking your dog, commuting to work, whatever that is. This is practical transformation designed to fit into your real life. We're doing something extraordinary. We're activating the giant within you. Not the slightly better version of yourself, the massively successful, abundantly prosperous, radiantly healthy, and deeply loving version that's been inside you all along. That giant version of yourself that takes command of any room, makes decisions with absolute certainty, creates wealth with ease, and lives with passionate intensity. Let me ask you something. Have you ever caught a glimpse of this giant? Maybe in a moment where you performed beyond what you thought was possible, where you felt unstoppable, where everything clicked and you thought, this is who I really am. That wasn't a fluke. That was your giant self breaking through the limitations that you've accepted. I've spent decades studying the science of human potential, which I've shared through my podcast. I've worked with athletes, entrepreneurs, so many people in so many different countries that have discovered the difference between where you are and where you want to be isn't about capability. It's about accessibility. You already have everything you need. You're just going to activate it. What if the most powerful, unstoppable version of you isn't something you need to build, create, or develop? What if that giant within you is already here, just waiting to be noticed? Most people spend their entire lives trying to become something, when the truth is, greatness isn't something you achieve. It's something you uncover. It's not about adding something new. It's about removing the limitations that are hiding who you truly are. When I talk about the giant within, I'm speaking of the version of you that exists right now that's capable of achievements beyond your wildest imagination. This is neuroscience. This is psychology. This is the truth about human potential that most people will never understand. Let me ask you, have you ever been in a life or death situation? I have. Have you been in a moment of extreme urgency? Suddenly you had strength, clarity, and resources you didn't know existed. That wasn't some external force coming to your aid. That was your giant self breaking through the fog of your limiting beliefs. What keeps this giant dormant? Fear, uncertainty, negative associations. The stories you tell yourself about who you are and what you're capable of. But right now, in this moment, we're going to create a pattern interrupt in your nervous system. We're going to shock your mind out of its comfort zone and awaken the sleeping giant that's been waiting for permission to rise up and take command of your life. Are you ready? Because once this giant awakens, there's no going back to playing small. Listen to me now. Your destiny is not some mysterious force beyond your control. Your destiny is created by decisions, not conditions, not circumstances, not your background, not the economy, not the tariffs, your decisions. Every single decision you make right now in this moment is literally sculpting your future self. The decision is to stay engaged with this activation instead of clicking away. The decision to apply what you learn here instead of just consuming information. The decision to believe in possibilities instead of limitations. These aren't small choices, they are destiny shapers. As your giant self begins to awaken within you, you'll notice a fundamental shift in how you make decisions. Instead of decisions based on fear, you'll make decisions based on vision. Instead of decisions to avoid pain, you'll make decisions to create extraordinary pleasure. Your past is not your future. Let me say that again. Your past is not your future. The most damaging belief in human psychology is the idea that who you've been determines who you'll become. It's a lie, it's a myth, it's a limitation that keeps your giant self trapped in the prison of your history. Here's what's true. The decisions you made yesterday created the person you are today. And the decisions you make today are creating the person you'll be tomorrow. And as your giant self awakens inside you, you're becoming more conscious of this creative process. You're taking command of the decisions that sculpt your destiny. What if you decided right now that your future would be dramatically different from your past? What if you decided that your history is not your destiny? What if you made the decision that today is the day everything changes? I've worked with people who've transformed their lives in moments because they made real decisions. Not the kind of decision where you say, I'll try this. The kind of decision where you cut off any possibility of retreat. The kind of decision where you commit with every cell in your body. As your giant self awakens, you're developing an absolute certainty about what you want and who you're becoming. You're seeing with clarity that decisions are the pathway to power. You're understanding at the deepest level that every moment provides an opportunity to redirect the entire course of your life. Your past has not defined you. It has only prepared you for this moment of awakening. Everything you've experienced, every challenge, every setback, every moment of pain has been developing the strength, wisdom, and resilience your giant self will use to create extraordinary results. Decide now to step fully into your power. Decide now to believe in possibilities beyond your past. Decide now to awaken the giant within. Right now, I want you to make a physical change. Roll your shoulders back. Lift your chest up. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Feel that. That's your physiology shifting. When your physiology shifts, your psychology follows. This is the first element of the emotional triad, the three forces that control every emotion you experience. Your physiology, your focus, and your language. Master these three elements and you master your emotional state. Master your emotional state and you master your life. And as you maintain this powerful posture, this posture of strength, of confidence, I want you to shift your focus. Think about a time in your life when you were unstoppable. A time when you succeeded against all odds. A time when you knew with absolute certainty that you would accomplish whatever you set your mind to. See what you saw in that moment. Hear what you heard. Feel what you felt. This is your giant self in action. This isn't some imaginary figure. This is you at your most powerful. Now bring that feeling into your body right now. Feel the confidence flowing through you now. Feel the certainty building in your chest. Feel the power radiating from your core. The third part of the triad is language, both the words you say to others and the words you say to yourself. You're not just trying to improve your life, you're becoming the person you were always meant to be. You're not hoping things will get better, you're creating a new reality through your decisions and actions. The difference between an amateur and a master is that an amateur uses language carelessly, while a master uses language deliberately. When you say, "I'll try," you're giving yourself permission to fail. When you say, "I will," you're making a commitment that your nervous system takes seriously. Feel the difference in your body when you say, "I'll try to be more confident," versus "I am confident." The second statement creates an immediate physiological change because your body responds to the commands of your mind. As you focus on past successes while maintaining this powerful physiology, notice how your emotional state is transforming. Your breathing is charging, your blood flow is changing, your biochemistry is changing. The giant within you is fully awakening now. Here's what's happening. Your reticular activating system, the part of your brain that determines what you notice in your environment, is being reprogrammed. Instead of looking for evidence of limitation, you're looking for evidence of possibility. Instead of focusing on what could go wrong, you're focusing on what could go right. Every morning before you do anything else, stand in this posture of power. Focus on your vision of success and use the language that commands your nervous system to mobilize all your resources. This is how you activate the giant within, not just once, but daily. Let me tell you something that might shock you. What do you truly value in your life? Not what you tell people you value, not what you think you should value. What do your actions say you value? Most people never ask this question. They live their entire lives on autopilot, wondering why they can't create the results they want, never realizing that their values are determining every decision they make. Here's the truth. Your values aren't what you say. They're what you do. If you say you value health, but you haven't exercised in months, you're lying to yourself. If you say you value family, but you work 80 hours a week, your real values are revealed by your behaviors. The giant within you operates on a completely different value system than the person that you've been. The giant values growth over comfort. The giant values contribution over consumption. The giant values excellence over approval. Imagine how differently you'll respond when your top value is growth instead of comfort. When something challenging happens, instead of thinking, "How do I avoid this pain?" you'll automatically think, "How can I use this to become stronger?" Right now, your giant self is recalibrating your entire value system. You're starting to recognize that values that have been driving your life may not be the values that will create the extraordinary life you desire. When certainty is your highest value, you play it safe. When growth is your highest value, you embrace uncertainty as the path to expansion. When significance is your highest value, you need constant validation. When contribution is your highest value, you find meaning in making a difference. I've worked with thousands of people who transformed their lives instantly by shifting their value hierarchies. One moment they value comfort over growth, and their decision reflected that priority. The next moment they valued growth over comfort, and everything changed. Your giant self naturally values mastery over mediocrity. Your giant self naturally values passion over passivity. Your giant self naturally values authenticity over approval. As you listen to my words, these empowering values are becoming more compelling to you. These are becoming the values that drive your decisions, your actions, your life. The next time you face a decision, ask yourself, what would the giant within me value in this situation? Then watch as your choices align with the extraordinary person that you are becoming. Your values determine your destiny, period. Change your values and you change everything. Every human being on this planet is driven by 6 fundamental needs, not wants, not desires, needs. These needs are the invisible forces that shape every decision you make, every habit you form, every relationship you build or break. I worked with a CEO once who was making millions of dollars but felt empty inside because he was meeting his needs for certainty and significance, but neglecting his needs for connection and contribution. His giant self was starving. The first human need is certainty. The need to feel secure, safe, comfortable. We all need some level of certainty to function. But here's what happens. People who make certainty their primary need end up creating lives of limitation. They avoid risks, they resist change, and they wonder why they feel stuck. As your giant self awakens, you're beginning to crave the second need, variety. The need for surprise, challenge, excitement. Think back to when you were a child, curious, adventurous, alive. That's your giant self's natural state. I have one client who thought his need for certainty was being met through wealth and status, but when we dug deeper, we discovered he was actually uncertain about what truly mattered in his life. That's when everything began to change for him. The third need is significance, the need to feel important, special, and unique. Everyone wants to matter, but when significance becomes your highest need, you become a prisoner to others' opinions. The fourth need, and this is where the transformation begins, is connection and love. Your giant self knows that without meaningful connection, success is just an empty achievement. My client realized he was sacrificing connection to feed his need for significance, and he was respected by many, but truly known by few. Once he prioritized deep connections with his family and close friends, his giant self began to flourish. But the highest needs, the needs that your giant self values above all others, are growth and contribution. Imagine waking up every morning hungry for growth. Not just financially, but emotionally, intellectually, physically, spiritually. Imagine feeling excitement about challenges because they force you to expand. That's not fantasy. That's your giant self's natural orientation. And as you're listening to me now, feel how your giant self is already beginning to prioritize growth over comfort. You're starting to crave experiences that stretch you, challenge you, transform you. And finally, the ultimate need, contribution, the need to give, to serve, to make a difference. When contribution becomes your highest need, something magical happens. All the other needs are met automatically. My client's transformation was complete when he shifted his business model to focus on solving a major environmental problem he deeply cared about. His needs for certainty were met through purpose. His need for variety was met through innovation. His need for significance came from impact rather than status. His need for connection was fulfilled through authentic partnerships, and his needs for growth and contribution became his primary drivers. Imagine how differently you'll respond to challenges now that we've activated the highest values of growth and contribution within you. Imagine how much energy that you'll have when your actions align with your deepest purpose. Imagine the fulfillment you'll experience when you know you're making a difference. Your giant self is already beginning to reorganize your needs hierarchy right now. You're starting to value growth over comfort. You're beginning to value contribution over consumption. You're awakening to a higher set of needs that will create an extraordinary quality of life. Who are you? Not your name, not your job title, not your role. Who are you at your core? This question strikes at the heart of transformation because your identity, your sense of who you fundamentally are determines what you believe is possible for your life. Most people live with an identity that was programmed into them by their past experiences, their environment, their challenges, their failures. They say things like, I'm just not good with money. I'm not a morning person, or I'm too shy to speak up. These aren't descriptions, they're prison cells that keep your giant self locked away. Every time you say I am followed by a limitation, you're making a declaration to your nervous system about who you are. And your nervous system's primary directive is to keep you consistent with your identity. It will sabotage any goal that contradicts who you believe you are. Listen to me. Your past identity was based on who you thought you were. Your new identity, your giant identity, is based on who you're capable of becoming. From this moment forward, you are someone who takes immediate action. You are someone who finds a way no matter what the obstacle. You are someone who lives with passion and serves with love. These aren't affirmations, they're declarations of your new identity. Now here's how to make this transformation permanent. Move through your day as if you are already that person. Don't wait until you feel confident to act confident. Act confident now and the feeling will follow. Don't wait until you've achieved success to carry yourself like a success. Carry yourself like a success now, and achievement will follow. When faced with a challenge, ask yourself, how would the giant within me respond to this? Then embody that response immediately. This isn't pretending, this is practicing your new identity until it becomes automatic. Your giant self doesn't try to be extraordinary. Your giant self is extraordinary. This isn't something you achieve, it's something you embody. From this moment forward, wherever you hear yourself saying, I can't, immediately replace it with, until now I haven't. Feel the difference in your physiology. When you make this shift, the first statement is an identity claim. The second is a historical observation that leaves the future open. Your identity is not carved in stone, it's written in sand. With every new decision, every new action, every new thought, you're rewriting who you are. The giant within you is awakening to a powerful truth. You can decide who you are in any moment. Throughout your day, use these identity anchors. When you look in the mirror, say with absolute conviction, I am the giant awakened. When you face a challenge, declare, this is where I shine. When you feel doubt creeping in, state firmly, I am someone who finds a way no matter what. This is neural reconditioning. You're literally rewriting neural pathways that define your sense of self. You're creating new reference experiences that support your giant identity. The question isn't who am I? The question is who am I choosing to be? Your giant self knows that identity is a choice, not a discovery. Choose greatness, choose power. Choose to be the giant you were always meant to be. It's time to revolutionize the way you approach your goals. Not ordinary goal setting, goal activation. Through results-focused, purpose-driven, massive action plans. Most people set goals that are nothing more than glorified to-do lists. I want to lose weight. I want to make more money. These aren't goals. These are wishes. The first step is to get crystal clear about the specific results you want to create. Not vague outcomes like to be more successful, specific measurable results that ignite your passion. What exactly do you want to see, hear, and feel in your life 90 days from now? From year one, 5 years from now? As you think about these results right now, notice how your giant self is already beginning to feel them as if they're happening in this moment. The emotional connection is crucial because where focus goes, energy flows. The second step is where most people miss the boat, connecting to your purpose. Why do you want these results? When your goals are fueled by deep, meaningful purpose, you tap into reservoirs of energy you didn't know existed. Right now, your giant self is connecting your goals to your deepest values and needs. You're beginning to feel the emotional power that comes when your targets are aligned with your purpose. This is not just planning, this is activation. The final step is creating a massive action plan. Not incremental steps, massive action that creates momentum. The difference between ordinary people and extraordinary people isn't resources, it's resourcefulness. Your giant self doesn't ask, can I do this? Your giant self demands, how will I do this? Right now, in this moment, you're activating new neural pathways that link your present actions to your future results. You're not just planning, you're literally rehearsing success at the neurological level. This is how champions are made. This is how innovations are created. This is how empires are built. As you move forward from this activation, you notice something remarkable. The gap between setting a goal and taking action is disappearing. Where once there was procrastination, now there is immediate action. Where once there was doubt, now there is unstoppable momentum. Your giant self doesn't separate planning from doing. Your giant self plans while doing. This integration of thought and action is the hallmark of extraordinary achievement. Starting today, you will approach every goal with this framework. You will focus on results, connect to purpose, and create massive action plans that guarantee success. The quality of your life is determined by the quality of the questions you consistently ask. And most people don't realize that their mind is like the world's most powerful search engine. It will find answers to whatever questions you ask. Ask lousy questions, why does this always happen to me? Or what's wrong with me? And your mind will dutifully find all the evidence to support those disempowering inquiries. But your giant self asks different questions, questions that empower, questions that direct your focus towards solutions and possibilities. Over here, in this new mental space you're creating right now, is where you ask questions that awaken your giant self. Questions like, what am I most excited about in my life right now? Feel how that question immediately shifts your emotional state. Feel how it directs your focus toward opportunity and gratitude. When you face a challenge, instead of asking, why is this happening? Ask, how can I use this situation? Notice how the first question makes you feel like a victim, while the second question positions you as a creator. Your giant self naturally asks questions that lead to growth. Questions like, what can I learn from this? And how can I add even more value? These aren't just inquiries. They're commands to your nervous system to find solutions and opportunities. Right now, in this moment, you're installing new patterns of questioning that will automatically direct your focus toward what you can do rather than what you can't do. You're programming of your mind to ask questions that empower rather than questions that limit. Morning questions shape your day. Ask yourself, what am I grateful for right now? What am I excited about today? What actions will I take today to move closer to my dreams? Who can I surprise with appreciation or acknowledgement today? Feel how these questions immediately elevate your emotional state and prime you for success. When faced with setback, your giant self automatically asks, what's great about this problem? This question might seem counterintuitive, but it forces your mind to find the opportunity hidden within every challenge. Remember, the quality of your life comes from the quality of your questions. From this moment forward, you're becoming someone who asks extraordinary questions that lead to extraordinary results. You're consciously directing your focus toward what empowers you, rather than what limits you. The words you use are not just descriptions of your experiences. They are the experience. Your vocabulary isn't just reflecting your emotions, it's creating them. This is one of the most powerful tools your giant self has for transforming the quality of your life instantly. Most people use life-limiting language, words that minimize their experience, diminish their power, and keep them stuck in mediocrity. When something amazing happens, they say it was nice or pretty good. When faced with a challenge, they are devastated or overwhelmed. This vocabulary keeps their giant self asleep. Starting right now, you're installing new linguistic patterns that magnify the positive and minimize the negative. You're not just happy anymore, you're ecstatic. You're not just interested, you're fascinated. You're not just determined, you're unstoppable. Feel how your physiology changes when you use these more empowering words. Feel your emotional state transform. This isn't just semantics, this is neural programming that changes what you experience at the most fundamental level. When something challenging happens, you're no longer stressed. You're a bit stretched. You're not furious, you're slightly annoyed. You're not terrified, you're concerned. Notice how these shifts in vocabulary immediately change your emotional response. As you continue listening, your giant self is naturally adopting this more empowering vocabulary. Instead of saying, I have to do something, you're saying, I get to. Instead of saying, this is a problem, you're saying, this is a challenge, or this is an opportunity. These aren't word games, they're perception shifters that instantly change your biochemistry. Your giant self understands that words have power to uplift or destroy, power to energize or drain, power to open possibilities or close them down. The way you describe your life is your life because your words program your nervous system to respond accordingly. From this moment forward, you're someone who consciously chooses language that empowers rather than limits. You're someone who uses words with precision and purpose. You're someone who speaks the language of giants, bold, powerful, and transformative. Here are some affirmations using this transformational language. I am absolutely unstoppable in the pursuit of my deepest purpose. I am magnificently capable of creating extraordinary results in every area of my life. I am passionately engaged in continuous growth and expansion. I am electrified with unlimited energy and vitality that flows through me daily. I am masterfully directing my focus toward what empowers and inspires me. I am brilliantly solving challenges and transforming obstacles into stepping stones. I am radiantly expressing my authentic self in everything I do. I am profoundly grateful for the abundance that flows into my life effortlessly. I am magnificently designed for success in my unique mission. I am ferociously committed to living at my peak state every single day. I am jubilantly creating a life of outstanding achievement and deep fulfillment. I am dynamically aligned with my highest values and deepest purpose. I am triumphantly breaking through limitations and expanding what's possible. I am exuberantly contributing my unique gifts to make meaningful difference. I am gloriously deserving of extraordinary success and profound joy. I am unleashing my unlimited potential with every breath I take. I command my mind, body, and spirit to operate at peak performance. I am a force of nature, unstoppable, powerful, and absolutely certain of my path. My decisions are reshaping my destiny with lightning speed. I am breaking through all limitations that have held me back. The giant within me is fully awake and directing my actions with power and precision. There is a force more powerful than any obstacle, any limitation, any fear, and that force is purpose. When you tap into your deepest purpose, you access energy that most people never experience in their entire lives. Think of your life as a mighty river without clear banks to direct it. That powerful current dissipates into 1,000 tiny streams, losing its power. But when guided by the banks of purpose, the same water becomes a force that can carve through mountains. That's what happens when your giant self aligns with your deepest purpose. Most people confuse achievement with fulfillment. They climb the ladder of success only to discover it was leaning against the wrong wall. They reach their goals but feel empty inside because they were pursuing what without pursuing their why. Your giant self knows that true fulfillment comes not from what you get, but from who you become and what you give in the process. Your purpose isn't something you invent. It's something you discover by listening to that voice within that's been trying to guide you all along. Right now, I want you to think about the moments in your life when you felt most alive, most engaged, and most connected to something larger than yourself. In those moments, you weren't thinking about yourself. You were contributing something meaningful. You were expressing your unique gifts in service to others. As your giant self awakens, you're beginning to see that every experience in your life, even the painful ones, have been preparing you for your unique contribution. Everything you've learned, everything you've overcome, every gift you've developed can be channeled into service that transforms not just your life, but the lives of everyone you touch. Your daily actions are now becoming aligned with this greater purpose. Instead of compartmentalizing your life, work here, purpose there. You're integrating them into a seamless whole. This alignment creates unstoppable momentum because you're no longer pushing against your deepest values. The universe responds to purpose with synchronicity. When you're aligned with your purpose, the right people, opportunities, and resources begin to appear in your life with remarkable timing. It's not magic. It's what happens when you're fully awake and moving in the direction of your highest contribution. From this moment forward, before making any significant decisions, your giant self will ask, does this align with my deepest purpose? This simple question becomes your compass, guiding you toward fulfillment rather than mere achievement. Your giant self understands that purpose is not a destination. It's a direction. It evolves as you grow, expanding to encompass more of your gifts and more of your vision. But the core remains constant, the commitment to contribute something meaningful, to leave the world better than you found it, to express your unique gifts in service to others. We have neurobiologically activated the giant within that has always existed within you. You've literally rewired your mind to operate at a higher level through the power of physiology, focus, language, values, needs, identity, goals, questions, vocabulary, and purpose. From this moment forward, you begin noticing dramatic changes in how you respond to challenges. Where once you might have felt overwhelmed, you now feel energized by the opportunity to grow. Where once you might have hesitated, now you take immediate action. Where once you might have settled for less, you now demand excellence from yourself and your life. In the coming days, pay close attention to the shifts happening within you. Notice how you stand taller, speak more confidently, make decisions more clearly. These aren't coincidences. They are evidence that your giant self is fully awakening. But remember, this activation isn't the end of your journey. It's just the beginning. The giant within you will continue to evolve, continue to expand, continue to create extraordinary results as you apply these principles daily. Here's what I want you to do right now. Choose one area of your life where you're going to immediately implement what you've learned. Maybe it's your health, your relationships, your career, your finances. Pick one. Pick one area and commit to taking massive action in the next 24 hours. Your giant self is now activated. The only question is, what will you create with this newfound power? What contribution will you make? What legacy will you leave? What difference will you make with the gift of your life? The world is waiting for your greatness. The world needs your unique gifts. Now, go out there and live like the giant you truly are. And welcome to the reality revolution.